We have here in our hands today the brand new release of the Specialized S-Works Aries 2 with a price tag of $600. This is the newest edition of the Aries shoe that was seemingly discontinued, but a lot of pro riders, including Remco, including Julian Philippe of the Specialized branded teams, did like the Aries series, so they brought it back. Now, keep in mind, the shoe is not replacing the Torch, so the S-Works Torch shoe will still be available to buy for that $450 price tag. Now, they made a lot of improvements from the shoe. One, removing the Dynamo sock that was there before. They increased heel support in the back as well to reduce lateral movement left and right, and also a little bit more of a better contact or support system for the back of the heel. So they said when you're putting an effort, that heel doesn't come up. But in today's video, we're going to be trying them out, putting my foot inside there because I have really weird feet. And I've been riding the S-Works Torch shoes since launch. And I want to try these out because I own the pair of the Aries as well. By the way, nothing about my body is cycling at all. My feet, my body, I'm a heavy guy. Nothing at all is cycling related, but we do it anyways. So I want to go ahead and try these things out because I want to see if it had the same issues that I ran into with the Aries before. I have a very wide foot, and this is my case, but you see a lot of pros using these shoes. And they really are pushing on their website, and even on the release of the shoe, they talked about how much more in tune the riders were with the bike and how much more locked in the riders felt. This is a really high-end race shoe. This is for the people that want every little bit of savings they can get. They said with this shoe, it saves you 7 watts, and that's 1 second faster. Now, I don't know what they were testing that 7 watts against because they didn't say it, or maybe I missed it, but I don't know if it's over the previous Aries or over the current Torch shoe as well. But, you know, those are all the numbers they're releasing. But really the focal point of this shoe is the changes they made to the heel cup, the changes they made to the toe box as well. They said they went with their body geometry to go ahead and fit more naturally of how a normal foot is. Instead of just being a straight line, they wanted to kind of give it some curvature to it. Specialized is known to adding their metatarsal button for the insoles that come stock with the shoes, so that way it doesn't allow pain in that metatarsal area, so that way you avoid the hot spots in your hot foot. They widen up that toe box as well, and also something that Specialized has a patent for that I really do tell this to everyone. It's throughout their entire shoe, but Specialized is one of the only companies that has a varus wedge inside their shoe when they make them at a 1.5 millimeter varus wedge. And what that means is that when I was doing my fitting course over there, they basically said, they gave me a statistic that 88% of the population, when they let their foot hang, see how my pinky toe hangs down more than my upper toe? That varus wedge, when it's inside the shoe, it's not flat like this. Let me do this hand. It's not flat like this, think of my pinky toe. It's more a little bit cockeyed like this to fit the natural lie of your foot. So to accommodate your foot, so that way you're not getting that arch roll and that loss of power. It's going to help that foot sit naturally, and they're going to help reduce power loss by not having that arch roll. So let's go ahead and talk about the weight. Also, I want to show you some differences between the Torch 2, show off the boas, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Before we get into anything, this was the Aries original shoe. A really good selling shoe. They had the pop-off boas just like this version does as well. They have the heel cup support as well, but a little bit lower here. They have this Dynamo sock, which they said was a very light material, which was great, but there's 2 downsides to this. One, if you had whites, these will get incredibly dirty and would not match the color of the shoe, so they looked very trashy. 2, we always had customers issues with extreme use of these things that they would rip at the seams of these stitchings. So I think they got rid of those socks for that reason. The longevity and durability of them was not good, sticking your foot in and out of there. Although they had a great fit, they were really tight to get on and off, so I think this sock took a lot of that load and basically just caused it to wear out. My problem when I had my Aries was that my wide bunion I'd have too much contact here. And I'd try things like tightening down the upper forefoot and leave this a little bit looser, but just the actual fit of the shoe would always cause me issues. Now, these shoes come in a wide version. These shoes also, I believe, come in a wide version, but I've never ridden wide shoes. I, myself, am riding these right here, the S-Works Torch. I bought these when they launched with Specialized. I have a ton of miles on them. They've been through a lot of videos. They've been through a lot of just riding. Who the heck is calling after hours? This is a place of business. It's not a place of calling after hours. Let me hang up on this person. I gave that person peace of my mind. I said, first of all, where do you get off calling a store, okay, to give me your money? I said, don't ever do that again. I said, if you did, there's going to be problems, oh boy. There's going to be big, big problems. Don't ever call my store again trying to give me money. I have a real issue with that. Anyways, back to the video. So like I said, I've been riding the S-Works the S-Works Torches for a very long time, and it is by far one of my favorite shoes. I have the Shimano S-Fires. I have the DMT, the Poggy edition. I like the Poggy edition a lot, but I don't like laces. I'm not a big fan of laces shoes. I just got his version just to try them out. But these Torches fit me really well. They widen the toe box. They have the Achilles heel support in the back to help reduce lateral movement. They have a nice low cut here as well, which I do like, but I noticed that with these shoes, these are a little bit lower than on the new Aries 2. These are a little bit higher, I guess, to go ahead and help with the support of getting that more locked in feeling in the back. But I love the design of getting these on and off. I mean, the boas on here have worked like a charm. I've never replaced them once. All you have to do is go ahead like this, tighten them down, and they snug in. Same with here, tighten down, and they snug in. So I've always ridden these shoes, and I love them to death. Like, they're my ride or dies. I probably will be getting these versions of these shoes, even though I know that I don't know if I like them as much as these because how easy they are to get on and off. And I do ride green inserts. So not only do I have massively wide feet, I do have insanely high arches as well, which you guys will see my feet in just a second. If you guys are into that kind of stuff, you pervs, you guys will definitely see that. So I'll give you guys my good comparison in terms of how my foot feels inside here compared to the Aries 2. So with the Aries 2, inside that $600 box, you do get a shoe bag. So that way you can carry around your $600 shoes. Might as well slap a Louis Vuitton label on here because these things are getting expensive. But keep in mind, guys, you have companies like that, like DMT, which are $600 shoes, Nimble, which are $600 shoes, CD, which have $600 shoes. It's not a crazy price tag increase. Look at the Tour de France last year. You had Pogacar on DMTs, Jonas Vingegaard on Nimble, and Remco on Specialized. And Specialized probably just figured, hey, these are our highest end race shoes. Why not give it a $600 price tag? Do I want to see people spend more money? No, because it makes the sale harder. But an S-Works customer is going to buy these. These are not for everyone. Keep that in mind. These are a race shoe that riders are literally using in races that get paid millions of dollars to race for. You do not need these. And keep in mind, these are a really lightweight, stiff carbon shoe. Sometimes the lightest and stiffest is not the best. Sometimes that can cause irritation to people's feet. So again, like in my case, I probably shouldn't be wearing these. I should probably be using a Torch 2.0 or something because they're a little bit more of a softer carbon and a better fitting shoe for my massive gargantuan feet. So with these Aries 2, they have a nice increased raise on the back. You have snap down boas, which I kind of do like because it makes an easy adjustment on the fly. So to take them off, boom and boom, remove. The thing I don't like is that there is no exit point for these laces to come out. So they are a little bit of a struggle to get on and off with your wider foot. So just keep that in mind. Regular tongue on there as well. You do have their same exact carbon fiber sole on the bottom, which looks to be the same as the Torch, even with that same opening for ventilation at the bottom and the heel cup, which is nice because these shoes are plenty stiff for what they are. You have their footbeds Gen 2, they said inside here. And they include that little metal tarsal button. Oh, you're gonna make me work for you, huh? You want me to split you open like a coconut? Yeah, gotcha. I know your buttons. Okay. Metatarsal 2. That's your metatarsal button right there. And this is the footbed 2. This is a pretty standard insole. There's no support for arch support here. There's a little bit of like an arch roll, anti-roll right here. But a normal insole in here. I definitely recommend replacing these to like a blue, a green, or a red because they are a little bit better material of footbeds, depending on if you have a flat foot, a medium arch, or high arch. The insoles in these are much better. They're reinforced, a little bit thicker padding, and this is a nice. I love the greens for me. They work really well. All right, so let's go ahead and put these things on and see how my nasty feet look. I wore my Reggie Bully Bora Hansgrove socks because, again, just like Pagacha how I ride, I also have a little bit of Primos inside of me. Pause. Oh, real quick, I want to show you guys this so you guys can see the difference of the side profile. These are a 56.63. These are a little bit taller to, again, give you that support. So these are like a 59.91, just to give you that more locked in feeling. All right, locked in. So now we're over at the shoe section. I'm going to show you guys how my feet look, so that way you guys can maybe get a good comparison of how they are. We're going to put our feet on the heat mapping to show if I have a low arch, medium arch, or high arch. We have our wall of shoes over there with the insoles ready to go with socks underneath them, a lot of blues and a lot of greens. We tend to think that the insoles inside the shoes are just usually like a red, but the red do give you a little bit more support for a complete flat foot on there. So let me go ahead and show you guys my arches real quick. Keep in mind, if you guys are ever doing this type of test here, you want to be sitting down and you want your legs to be bent at a 90-degree angle. If you stand up, or if any associate ever tells you to do this test while standing up, that is wrong, because if you have high arches, your high arches will collapse when you put pressure on them, and they will just basically fold into each other. So you want to rest your legs on here without pressure and just let the mapping do itself. So we're going to go ahead, boom, give it a little bit of time. And you can see already, I barely have anything showing on there. I have extremely high arches. That is my case. Now, to show you guys one of my most dearest and deepest secrets, my feet. As you guys can see, I have the riding tan. I have extremely white ankles. All right, here we go. If you guys put this on any kind of feet finder or any kind of OF site, give me half of the money. Here we go. Yes, they're ugly as hell. I rode today 33 miles. That's what those marks are, but I have a really predominant bungy on here, okay? Don't mind the nail polish paint because that's from my daughter. But not only that, I also have my toes, which kind of roll in, and you can see even there's pressure marks from my S-Work 8 shoes, which I love, but my feet, you know, like I said, aren't meant for a cycling shoe, or I should just be in a wide, but I don't want to be in a wide because I want to look cool. I hate when I have massive fat shoes on. I want to look like the pros. So let's go ahead and try these shoes on. Now there's another test that Specialized shows on their footbeds. It's called the third knee bend test. And basically what this does, it shows off that you have high arches. I myself also have pretty valgus knees. My knees kind of go in and down. So with accommodating with a high arch, it's going to go ahead and put that support down there, so when I'm pedaling, my arch is not going like this each time I'm riding. I'm gonna have the support on there, and it should help my knee track in a straight line as well. All right, but basically what that kind of 1/3 knee bend test does is when I go ahead and put pressure down with nothing on it, you can see my knee kind of going into the side of it, right? It kind of wants to go down because as I put pressure on there, this is rolling. What these new Aries 2 are supposed to do is they're supposed to go ahead and help with that lip going over and securing that shoe over to help with arch roll, to keep your foot more aligned with it. Now also insoles help out massively. A good test to show would be me taking out my high arch support, putting my foot down here, and again, if I can get my balance right, now I have support and it doesn't want to go down as much. Just a little bit support there would make it much easier to do the test. All right? God, I hate myself. All right, let's go ahead and put this shoe on real quick. See how it goes. All right. This is a 45. Those are a 45. Obviously, those are a little bit more broken in. All right, make sure the tongue's good. Nice. I mean, first impressions right off the bat, I feel a lot more secure on the upper and lower forefoot. Whereas this, we only have these two boas here. Here we have a massive piece of material that has helped hugging this. And then we have two contact points of boas being made here to give it that more secure of a feel. The lower part right here, I can already see, I don't know if you guys can see, that's my bunion sticking out there. So, see that little bump protruding right there? That's my bunion right against it. Now again, they make these in a wide. I don't know how my foot would do after a 30 or 60 mile ride because I'm already having that pressure on there. They feel to me like a form of an S-Fire. The S-Fire shoes are more narrow. They feel like a very snug shoe. And I know obviously racers love that feeling, and this feels like a very fast shoe. But to me, the Torches feel a little bit better, in my opinion, right off the bat, in terms of comfortability. In terms of actually secure lock-in, all day these shoes are, all day these shoes feel like you have way more support. Definitely. Let me pop these out real quick. Let's see. Yeah, like on these shoes, I don't have, well, they have these little kind of cutouts here on the Torches, like a different material, so it's a little bit more forgiving on the side. This is all the same material all the way through. So anyone with a normal foot will probably like these a lot. The shoebox feels much wider than the old Aries 2. I have much more room for my forefoot to kind of move around, and my toes and everything like that. It feels much more wider, and they made this way more ergonomic, which is good. Which they did similar to the Torch 8. I still think I'm gonna buy them. I probably should buy them in a wide, but again, I don't think I want to. And what I can do here is I can just leave that a little looser, run that on the top. I mean, it's a good looking shoe. But yeah, you can see right there from my case, that little hump. That's my my bunion right there. If I didn't have bunions like that, the shoe would feel very secure. I'm gonna buy them anyways. I'm definitely gonna buy them anyways just to try them on and give them a ride, because why not? But I don't know. I love these shoes so much. Like, I bought these with the DMTs. Hold on, let's get the DMTs out. Oh, and by the way, don't ever put cycling shoes on and walk with them and be like, my heel's slipping. I feel like my heel's slipping out the back. There's no movement in your shoe. It's a full carbon sole. So yeah, there's gonna be heel slippage out the back. That's not how they're intended to be using, okay? Keep that in mind. It's one of my biggest pet peeves when customers come in and be like, they walk around like it's like a normal tennis shoe. And like, I'm getting some heel slippage. I think these are too big. I'm like, dude, there's no give in that carbon sole. All right, let's put the DMT on the left foot, compare it to that. Now these are the DMT Poggy edition. They have the laces on here. They have a nice carbon fiber sole. And they also have this kind of gripping back piece in the Achilles. It's like almost like a rubber of some sort to help with heel slippage as well. No support in the back like the Specialized, so these are a little bit more looser. But in that kind of sense, what people always say is that with a shoe, you're pushing down normally. Now, I know in extreme efforts like sprinting and giving your all or trying to close a gap, your foot moves every which way because you're trying to generate as much power as possible. But in hindsight, when Specialized released the Exos, where it was basically like a trash bag on top of a carbon fiber sole, a lot of people like that shoe, but it gave no formality to the top of the shoe. I like these shoes a lot. They're pretty cool, but I noticed that with the laces, at least for me, even with the plastic on there, they do slip a little bit, but it doesn't stop me from wearing them. And I do like this little bullhorn too. Let's go ahead and tighten it up. And if I'm doing these wrong for tightening them up, please, someone let me know if there's a better way to do it. With these shoes, there's much more give in this upper area. So like I said, like these type of shoes I do enjoy because of the fact that I don't really have to worry about my bunion getting harsh. When there's a stronger, more supportive material, that's where I have issues in my case. But yeah, I'll say this much. I mean, these shoes over here feel like you literally have support everywhere. I mean, literally it feels like your foot's like locked in. So it's not a bad shoe. These are about 600. These are about 600. And these feel like a race shoe. This feels like you're going into like a race car with a bucket harness seat on there. Let's do a walk test. So, no, okay. Look good. The white looks good. Okay. I like it. It looks like a pro shoe. Looks really good. I'm starting to come around to a little bit more. The first initial felt that I feel right here was obviously that, but I think I get used to that. I would love to try a wide in them, but I just think it'll look goofy. DMTs. Great shoes. But I do feel way more support back here, way more support in the top. Yeah, it's a good feeling shoe. That thing, like if you're an enthusiast or you're a racing guy, I think a lot of people are gonna be wearing these shoes. And then the S-Works 8. And last but not least, remember these have cleats, these don't. But yeah, a little bit more undercut down here. I don't feel like this area here feels way more supportive, whereas this feels like there's a little bit more room to give here on the tongue area. Like if you look at a shoe, this is more bowing out right here. This looks like there's not as much material given here. It could be obviously the age of the shoe showing, but this whole upper part feels like you're not going anywhere. You can give efforts all day on these things. You see like that? So you want to step on there, it kind of bows out. Still a phenomenal shoe. So they're not going to get rid of the torches just yet. I don't think that for a while, but their Aries is going to be their all-out race shoe. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much. Let me know if you have any questions about these shoes. They come in a all white like you're seeing here. They come in a team edition with the black Specialized on the side or an all black. I'm sure there's going to be colors coming out in the near future. That's just a guess, but I have no idea. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Bye. Talk to you guys later. See you guys later.